couldn't even give you a step ladder at this point.
Well, that's pretty much where Christine's at with it.
I got to find this because I really like what she says about it. And there is a difference between your accidents and my accidents, because I don't do shit where I think I'm going to have an accident. I just have them.
Well, mine
and and you didn't plan on having an accident.
You know, when I broke my tailbone, you know, I was just coming down the stairs too fast. So,
right.
You know,
so that wasn't,
you know,
that just happens. Yeah.
When I shaved off my fingernail, I was working with tools, and that was weird. I know it was a tool I always used, the electric bandsaw or the electric sander. That was weird. And, you know, I was real careful with the ladder. It was just really, you know, it was almost, it was like a setup, because, you know, like Christine saying, now don't be calling me saying you fell off the ladder. So when they called her, they're like, well, she didn't fall off the ladder. I stayed on the ladder the whole time it fell.
Yeah, that's like Jerry when he came down the ladder when it slipped out from underneath him at the ranch and cut his head wide open. And
yeah, I didn't hit my head, so yeah. That was good. So you didn't find it?
I did. I've got it marked.
Okay. Well, let me hear what it says.
You want to hear what it says?
Yeah.
Okay. Accidents are no accident. Like everything else in our lives, we create them. It's not that we necessarily say, I want to have an accident, but we do have the mental thought patterns that can attract an accident to us. Some people seem to be accident prone, and others go for a lifetime without ever getting a scratch. Accidents are expressions of anger. They indicate built up frustrations resulting from not feeling the freedom to speak up for oneself. Accidents also indicate rebellion against authority. We get so mad we want to hit people, and instead we get hit. We are angry at ourselves when we feel guilty, when we feel the need for punishment. An accident is a marvelous way of taking care of that. That's what fit for me, was the guilt feeling. And that's how I feel. I feel like that's one of your big deals, is feeling guilty for not being out working still.
Ooh. Yeah, because when I have these accidents, I'm trying to help other people, and that makes me feel better. You know, they're rarely at home. I mean, when I fell down the stairs, I was in the process of painting the stairwell and the kitchen and the trim, and I was doing a job, you know.
Right.
It's interesting. If I look at when the accidents happen, it's always around that. And the tailbone, I knew I felt frustrated about not getting that job done quick enough for Christine, and you know, so
you're not giving yourself credit for what you're doing, you know.
And when I shaved off my fingernail, I was working on I was rebuilding their stairs, their outside steps. So
it seems as though any accident is not our fault. Then we are helpless victims of a quirk of fate. An accident allows us to turn to others for sympathy and attention. We get our wounds bathed and attended to. We often get bed rest, sometimes for an extended period of time, and we get pain. Where this pain occurs in the body gives us a clue to which area of life we feel guilty about. The degree of physical damage lets us know how severely we felt we needed to be punished and how long the sentence should be.
Wow. So what's the knee?
Pride and ego. And if you got knee problems, which you have right now, stubborn ego and pride, inability to bend, fear, inflexibility, won't give in. Well, you may not want to talk about this today on our thing, but you might. I think when we start, oh, we're recording. When did we start recording?
When you were laughing really hard, I thought, oh, I got to get this. People don't see you laugh that hard. But I make you laugh, I know.
Well, it's laugh or be sick sometimes. I mean, gosh, you had my stomach going crazy. The whole idea of being up that high just seems a little outrageous to begin with. Up on a
I was.
50-foot ladder.
It was 40 feet, and I was only about 30 feet up.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's probably not a good thing. That's a little bit like, well, I think a tree would have been safer maybe, but I don't know.
I fell out of a tree last summer, so.
So anyway, so we're talking about accidents, and we're talking about your accident this weekend. Falling off a 30-foot ladder with a, not off, I'm sorry. You didn't fall off of it, you carried it down with you.
Between my legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking about accidents because Marianne has accidents quite often. I've had accidents, but not as often as Marianne has accidents. I don't take as many risks as Marianne takes. And she just broke her tailbone, what, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago at the most?
About a month ago, yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been that long ago. So we're talking about accidents and what causes accidents. And Louise Hay says frustration, guilt. It isn't that you plan the accident, it's that you, at some level, you set things up for the accident in order that you might be punished for the guilt that you are feeling. And whatever you harm gives you a clue as to what it is you need to deal with. And so Marianne this time hurt her knee, and that talks about ego and pride. Let's see what spine says.
It'll say support, lack of support.
Well, spinal curvature, which you said you have had some issues with, right?
I have scoliosis, yeah.
Yeah, the inability to flow with the support of life, fear and trying to hold on to old ideas, not trusting life.
I was born with it, for God's sakes. I can't.
Well, maybe it came in with past life and stuff.
I know. So then what, you're stuck with that?
No, you're not stuck with it, but your spine is your flexible support of life.
Well, it got the mother of all adjustments in midair before I hit the table. I felt it. I thought I was going to be paralyzed, but no, instead I was released. So my back goes.
Yeah, and so it's a good subject because people do have accidents, you know, what they call accidents, you know, and you know, my truth is there are no accidents, that, you know, there's something behind everything that goes on. And it is harder when you get hurt to think that in some way, shape, or form you created that, because why would you get hurt? But according to Louise Hay, that is self-punishment for the guilt you are feeling, or the or if you don't, your ego says, I'm not doing my share, I'm not doing this, I'm not worthy, I'm this and that. Pretty soon you've got guilt coming up so deep inside of you that's like, I need to be punished, because we've been raised like that through lifetime after lifetime. If you're guilty or something, you get punished. So right. then you get a little pain, you get some attention. You know,
it all seems very simple and easy to figure out. But
then you need to deal with whatever it is and release it, because guilt is a totally, I hate to say worthless. It's an emotion we've come in here to experience, but we carry it. And it does us no service.
Well, hopefully I can use it as a motivation for change, you know.
There you go. Well, that's nice to say that, because because it is just showing us that, we're holding on to stuff. We're not accepting the perfection of who we are. And we all are perfection. There's nothing else we can be but perfection. We are made up of the source.
What's hard for me, JoAnn, is I feel like that there's, you know, unknown to me, unknown drives or complexes that, you know, lurking in my shadow self, wherever, that drive this behavior that I am unaware of. You know, I was really in a good mood. And that's the other thing that's striking is, you know, I was in a good headspace consciously. And so then I hear all this stuff. Well, I did this, I created this because of my ego, my guilt, my anger. And I'm like, it's just not conscious. And you know me, I work a lot on this stuff. I do.
Yes, you do. And
my dreams, I'm journaling, I work with other people, which helps me, you know, and so it's like, come on.
Right. And there you were in a good mood, but what you weren't doing, I guess, maybe one thing to look at is you maybe weren't giving a lot of thought to what you were getting ready to do. You know, I don't think it's horribly expensive to hire somebody to climb a ladder that does that all the time, and that may be 25, 30 years old, or does it all the time to where they know there is no room for error, because that's their business. They don't do that.
What age am I supposed to stop doing things?
Pardon me?
What age am I supposed to stop doing shit? You know, come on.
Well, I don't know. You know that inside your heart.
Clearly I don't.
Good point, Marianne. I guess surely you do now. I mean, how many ladders do you have to fall off? How many trees do you have to fall out of?
That was the first time in my life I've ever fallen off a ladder.
And you didn't really fall off of it. You fell down it. So
I fell down with it. Yes.
The common denominator is falling. Okay. Putting yourself in positions to where you fall. And you're right. There is something on some level, you know what it's about to a degree. And you work on stuff all the time. But I think there's a point when you can say, I don't have to get to the total bottom of every detail of this. Spirit, step in here. I'm ready to let go and not put myself in these positions anymore. I'm willing to let go of whatever it is that's still hanging on, or that I am hanging on to. You know, it could be very habitual. You could have released all kinds of stuff, but out of habit, you're still bringing it with you.
Yeah.
Okay. But you can ask, because we no longer have to totally dissect everything, because everything's changing really fast. And everything has been basically released to where we do not have to continue to deal with it. And that's why I say I think some of it's habitual at this point. Even though you may have released a lot of stuff, it's like, well, this is what I do. This is what I do. I help others. I do this. This is how I say I am worthy. This is how I make my difference. This is how I do this, that, and the other. You know how you make a really big difference? You do amazing services for people. You do amazing card readings. You do amazing work. your deep dives, all this stuff. That's how you truly serve people. And yes, you can still look what you do for your little neighbor boy. You're helping him to learn how to check under the hood of a car, put in a headlight, carpentry. That's where you're making a difference. You're not making a difference if you're hurting yourself. So you don't give yourself enough credit for the big, amazing things that you are doing.
I think I do, though. That's the thing, because I've been hearing this. And so that's where I get stuck. So I think we should ask wisdom of the oracle.
Let's do it.
Since we're making this all about me, we're just going to make this all about me.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
You know it's behind me.
Yeah. Oh no, are you gonna have trouble getting to it? Don't fall over your chair. Oh my gosh. I do not know what I would do without you, Marianne. And I mean that.
I keep people on their toes. I keep people on their toes.
Yes,
Keep
you
them
do.
thinking.
Yes, you do.
They never know what to expect from me or when to expect it. All right. So what's the question for Marianne today? I want to get to the bottom of it. So I'm going to say, what do I need to know about why I keep creating accidents in my life?
Okay.
We're using Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed, her teaching deck, kind of my go-to no bullshit deck. What do I need to know about why I keep creating accidents in my life? I got poised in reverse.
Okay.
So it's going to tell me I'm not ready to take flight yet. So I already know it's going to tell me. When? Essential meaning of poised is being ready, bringing something to light, being at your best and confidence. If you pull it in the reverse position, which she calls protection because it's extra medicine from the divine, you're not ready to move forward at this time. And that has to be okay. Be poised in the face of demands and deadlines. Pretending you know what you're doing works sometimes. But if you adopt a fake it till you make it attitude, it will land you in some muck right now. Well,
or
like
on the table.
In a pile of Legos. I had them stuck to me. This is not the time to wing it and deliver something half finished. It's okay to postpone things until you are really ready. It's better to disappoint others now than to wish you had later. I don't like it.
I know you don't. Can't make that stuff up, can you? We know you can't fly, so you know you can't wing it.
You're not ready to move forward at this time, and that has to be okay.
I don't see I think there's different versions of moving forward. I happen to know that, one of the things bothering you is pulling your fair share of the weight in your relationship. And I happen to know that And you have told me that your business is picking up, so you're helping more people. It's never going to be like it was, I guess.
Mm.
And I don't think that you've accepted that yet, you know, that. And here's the deal, it isn't going to matter here very soon. Because we're leaving this mindset of how much money you make determines how much say-so you have and stuff, and how much power you have. And this is age-old stuff that we've been ingrained with. You know, those who have the money have the power. And that's what's changing in this world. And that's very, very difficult to let go of, even when you are walking into something that makes your heart sing. And so maybe that's part of the punishment thing, is that you are actually very, very happy in the work you are doing. But it's certainly not the big payday that you used to get. So maybe there's a little guilt about feeling so content in the life that you are living right now. You're not used to being what you would call taken care of. And so you run out and try to take care of people in real big physical ways. You know, there's lots of ways you can help people without being on a 30-foot or 40-foot ladder. And you do all the time. I know this because I know you. So it's like, you don't have to prove anything to anybody. It's okay for you to be happy. And I guarantee that your wife loves you happy.
Well,
more than she loves you when you fall off a ladder.
Right.
So I don't know. Does any of that hit home or no?
Yeah. This is on a level of, it's not on the surface. I'm not ready to move forward because I haven't learned my lessons yet about my self-worth. And it's interesting. I had an Akashic record reading with Lisa Bolton, who's another mentor at the Ascension School of Spirituality. And it was wonderful. And it was all around self-worth. And so there's this prayer that she gave me, I've been saying every day, about releasing my lack of self-worth. I didn't say it that day.
Wow.
I forgot.
Wow.
But it came up in the Akashic record, and part of the reading was around not being heard, not being believed in a life. And then my early childhood mimicked that, so it kind of reinforced that energy with me and my low self-worth. And now I'm in a position where I am believed, but I don't believe that I don't believe it. I can't accept it. So it's like this, like, really, it's upside down backwards. So, what you were saying resonated and kind of triggered the memory of the Akashic reading that Lisa did. And again, it was wonderful. So if anybody's interested in that, she's on the ASOS Facebook page and website, and, grab that service for yourself, because it was very validating. And I got lax with the prayer, with the intention to release that. And I think, you talked at the beginning about the knee representing ego, and that's the most problematic area on my body right now. And it was my ego that was like, you don't need to read that prayer. You don't need that shit. You know, you're worth it. You don't need, that's my ego. I think I'm at a crossroads. I talk about ego a lot and I joke about it. And, but I think I'm on a different level now I mean, I feel like if I don't figure this shit out, I'm going to die. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Well, ego's pretty strong. And
yeah.
sometimes we can be totally behind putting it in its place. And yet there's a comfort level with that ego too, because we've carried it for so long.
Well, and it's protected me, but I don't need it to protect me anymore the way it thinks it does.
Right. It's protecting you from something that you actually want at this point.
Right. And yeah. But
Yeah.
it wants me to stay in the familiar, which is going to kill me.
Yeah. Because the familiar, you can say all the nice things you want to about ego and stuff, but falling off a ladder isn't protecting you very much. Your ego didn't protect you very much when you came down off that ladder. I'm pretty sure you had several angels helping you out.
Yeah.
So I just think once again, it's difficult to release a comfort zone thing, but it's like, it's time.
I pulled a clarifying card.
Okay.
To help me understand poised in reverse.
Oh, I love that. I love that card.
So, and that's what you were talking about. I know that one of the things about a change in the wind, as the clarifying, is it's already in motion. This is already in motion, all the changes.
Absolutely.
It talks about, it's not about to happen. It's already happening. And I'm not flowing with that, and that's when those accidents happen, when I'm not accepting those changes. So.
Well, I love wind and flowing, because I think maybe you are kind of now flowing with it a little bit. I keep looking at you and hearing what I said a minute ago about your amazing gifts, how you step up in service to people, and all you're doing is the only thing you're doing is you're letting go of the old way of serving to a degree and embracing the way you do serve now and giving yourself the credit. It's okay that we are instruments that are bringing the information through, and we're totally thrilled that we've been gifted to be able to do this, but it's okay to be very, very happy about that's the role we're playing, and that as we play that role, we are making a difference across the entire planet, because we're all one. So it's like, for anybody that's listening, when you think bad things happen to you, you need to look really close and see what it is that you don't think is okay.
Yeah.
About you. And then another thing that is good to remember is that the phrase "I am," because anything that follows "I am" is being created. So, you put those "I am perfection," and I always go, I am perfection on every level: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. That's not what they'd like. Someone walk with ego would come in and say, well, that's very ego based. No, it's not. That's God based. Yeah. Because that's who I am. I am totally content and grateful for the gifts that I now get to offer, for the part that I am playing in the relationship with me and Christine. You know, and I am happy every single day. I am happy, you know, and I also agree with getting up and putting out the gratitudes. I just think that is very helpful throughout the rest of your day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, whether you're
The tone. Yeah. And I've gotten away from that. I'll be honest.
well, we do. We just, if we skip a day of doing something, it's kind of like, it gets lost. It's like, oh, okay, that 15 minutes I took for that can get used up so quickly on something else.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So there's a lot of wonderful things happening, and that's just from the astrologies I've watched in the past weekend and stuff. We are stepping out of what we've been walking through for the past year and more.
Mhm.
We are finally going to get to take a deep breath, and a lot of truth comes out, and there's going to be a lot of grieving with that truth.
Yeah.
But it's also going to be at some level a very big relief, because we're going to know, okay, this is what we came for. We're waking up now. So that's what we're all doing, is we're waking up. But it's got a little bit more of a joyful tinge to it right now than it has had.
You're a wise woman, JoAnn.
Well, thank you.
I'm very grateful to have you in my life.
I am grateful to have you in my life, and that's why I go bonkers when you fall off ladders or downstairs.
It's always a good story.
Yes.
So, I think this is a good place to end. I feel better. And,
Okay.
You
All
know,
right.
my activation is I am.
There you go.
I am.
Excellent. Excellent.
Namaste.
I love you.
I love you.
Namaste.